unplugged it and made sure it was off.
Shut up. No one's gonna care. No one fucking watches these.
I know, dude.
My mom doesn't even watch them. And my mom watches everything and follows our band. And she doesn't even watch this bullshit.
What year was this? 2013?
Yeah, whenever we went to record Color Change.
Yeah. So we went all the way up to Seattle for the first time. And we were like, well, might as well go all the way up. And so just to cross the border, so we went all the way up and played and booked a gig in Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Just like an hour or two north of Seattle. So it's not like too far out of the way. Had a little trouble getting in across the border.
Canada doesn't like the fact that Chris got a little wild when he was younger.
Yeah. They don't take Class C misdemeanors lightly in Canada. We'll put it that way. Took us like 6-7 hours at customs to get in as they searched our van and everything, and it was basically just waiting for me to sign some paperwork. And I ended up having to pay like $250 to enter the country for like 48 hours. I had to leave within 48 hours.
You had to buy a temporary visa.
Yeah, and they're just trying to suck money out of me essentially. It's our first time playing any type of international show, so like it's gonna be dope. We basically stayed all night at customs, and then like made it to the venue by like 3 o'clock.
They said leave your equipment. You can borrow equipment at the show.
Oh yeah, so we didn't have to bring our trailer across.
So we dropped the trailer, dropped Ty's drums, and brought our guitars and amps essentially.
Yes.
And we show up to the spot, and it's an apartment complex. So we figure, oh, cool, house show or something. And the girl who booked the show comes up and we say, hey, there's a band playing in this courtyard of an apartment complex.
An acoustic
act. And we said, what drums are we going to use?
Yeah, we didn't see like any actual gear there that we were supposed to be backlining with or something.
And she said, no, it's an acoustic show. We said,
Word. Yeah. And we played
the
a
acoustic
5-song acoustic set at like 5:15 in the afternoon in the courtyard of this like complex, and there was like little baby kids running everywhere.
There were some kids there, yeah.
There were some like senior citizens just like walking their dogs around and stuff like that.
You played the damn gig.
And I was kind of bummed. Because I paid like $250 to go play a 20-minute acoustic set in a courtyard.
I will say this: the kids we played with were very good. We played with some kids who should be in like a famous pop band by now.
What? I don't remember none of that.
I remember it. Y'all never remember the bands we played with.
True.
We played with some. It sounded like Format Junior. It was tight. Anyways, the talent pool in Canada, at least in that block. At that apartment complex was very tight. So we drove to Vancouver to play an acoustic show in an apartment complex, and so Chris had to buy the temporary visa. So Chris was done spending money for a long time on that.
And we were also going to record a record on that like at the end of that tour. That's like why we were on that tour. So I was already spending a lot personally on that, and all of us in the band. Yeah. I was just bummed to spend an extra few $100s that I didn't have to. So I was like, y'all went out, like we parked somewhere.
We walked around,
like downtown Vancouver, which seemed like a really, really cool town.
It was a cool city.
But I was like bummed and being all pissy. So I just sat. I was like, I'm gonna sit in the van and just drink by myself. Oh, there's like no cell phone.
No, we couldn't get on our phones or
anything like that. So I just was gonna sit in the van with it off and just drink by myself. And I went to a liquor store and I was like, I just want to get a 12-pack of beer. And it came out to be like $65 American. I was like, I had no idea what was happening. I was like, there's got to be some kind of I thought there was a language barrier in Vancouver. And I was like, no, there's no way it could be $65 for a 12-pack. And apparently, because I think I was getting Budweiser, and that's an import. But I was like, still, like, Mexican beer isn't.
Dos Equis is an import.
Yeah, it's not $65. So I got some Canadian beer, and it was still like $50 for a 12-pack. I don't know why they do not like people drinking at all.
You probably just got hustled.
I think so, but there was it was all over the signs and everything, and I was started to make a scene in the liquor store.
I can imagine.
I was bummed. And then the next morning, we all slept. We went to someone's house.
We stayed at the promoter's house. We slept on lawn chairs in the backyard. Beautiful day or beautiful night.
Yeah, it really was.
Also her house was overrun by 1,000 cats.
Oh, that's right.
So Billy couldn't sleep in there.
Yeah.